Ultramarathon great Dean Karnazes in the book Ultramarathon Man, Confessions of an All-Night Runner says that struggling and suffering are the essence of a life worth living. If you're not pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, if you're not demanding more from yourself, expanding and learning as you go, you're choosing a numb existence. You're denying yourself an extraordinary trip. If you're watching this video, it's evident that you're searching for something more. You want to push yourself to that next level. You want to peel back the layers and find out what you really have inside of you. Ultramarathons will do that. And in this video, which is part 2 of a series on how to become an ultra runner, I'm going to discuss 3 very important tips to help you complete your first ultramarathon and join the ranks of some of the toughest athletes on earth. Hello everyone, my name is John and this is Motivation Theory. If you are new to this channel is for motivation, it is for inspiration, it's for driven, creative, like-minded people to explore topics that matter to us. And if that sounds like your kind of thing, please make sure you click that red subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications each and every time I release new content. Tip number 1, you want to plan, research, and prepare. This really helps with the anxiety of getting to race day. After you choose an event, research and understand the characteristics of that particular race. You want to understand things like the number of aid stations and how far apart they are, the elevation, the terrain, the weather, the typical temperature of that time of year, and the race routes, and you're going to want to prepare accordingly. If you are anything like me, and one thing I've learned about the personality types of ultra runners is that many of us have addictive personalities and are a little on the OCD side about preparation. You're going to have so much going on with your body with race day and your first race and just learning about how your body handles that distance. You're not going to want to find out any surprises out on the course. So preparing as much as you can with what you're going to do out there on the course and what you're going to come up on is going to help tremendously on race day. I researched so much for my first couple races that I read every blog and looked at every picture and every video that was ever posted for those races. I wanted to make sure that when I got out there that I almost felt like I had run the race before. And believe it or not, it really did work. And the prep for these races isn't just for you. It's for the people that are helping crew you. You want them to feel comfortable with what they're doing and you want them to understand what you need from them at certain points. So what I did is I laminated maps. I put proposed times when I was supposed to end up at aid stations, like worst case scenario, best case scenario. I wanted them to feel comfortable that they were doing the job that they were supposed to be there for because they want to do a good job for you and you want them to do a good job. And along with all of that, you're going to want to be flexible because things can go out the door. All those plans you made, they can go straight out the door. You might need change of shoes at the first aid station instead of the 5th one. You just never know what's going to happen. And one of the things that can happen when that starts to kind of unravel and fall apart is you can start to feel down on yourself. You can start to feel like you've already started to fail because you're tired. Your brain's going to start playing tricks on you and you're going to start to really feel down. And you don't want to have that happen. You just understand from the get-go that you're going to have things that are probably going to go bad and it's not the end of the world. Learn to let things go and just kind of take it easy on yourself and know that not everything is going to go 100% as planned. Tip number 2, I get a lot of questions about weekly miles when preparing for their first ultra. This is specific to the runner and how long you've been running and your base mileage. I start to break down and get hurt around 60 miles a week. So after I got my weekly mileage up to about 40 or 50 miles a week and started running races, I found out I could dial that back to around 35 miles a week. And I was fine as long as I still got my back-to-back long runs in. With these back-to-back long runs, there's more of a risk of injury and fatigue, so they need to be approached with caution. I know you guys are going to hear a lot about these, but just approach them with caution. Build up slowly and do one, if not both, off-road so that you can keep the pace slow initially. And those trails are going to be a lot easier on your knees, ankles, and feet, believe me. So training mileage can really be subjective, but an important point, your current fitness level and goals will determine what mileage you should be running for you. Most runners can finish their first ultra of a moderate distance, let's say up to like 100K, with just 30 or 40 miles a week. But make sure that when you're increasing week to week that you only increase 10% on the previous week's mileage just to avoid injury also. All of this is about avoiding injury while building that base. That's all you want to do is just slow, long miles and build that base up and not get injured. It's important to have a structured training program to help you build up sensibly and peak at the right time. When I first started running, I really felt like I was in the best shape I had ever been in to run an ultra when I could run a marathon at like 60 to 85% effort and not get sore. I've said this on this channel for 5 years. We are an experiment of one, so you do what works for you. You really have to experiment and try a lot of different things to make sure it works for you. What's going to work for me doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. Tip number 3, try to get as much training time in a similar type of environment that you'll be racing in. If you can't get to the course, try to find some areas that replicate some of the things you've seen in pictures and video. Like for instance, I have a extremely awesome power line around here that has a bunch of rocks that you almost have to kind of climb up to get up. This helped me in my first race, which was Belmonte, because I was looking at pictures and I saw one of the first climbs up the first mountain. Had a very rocky face to it, and you had to kind of climb up these rocks for maybe 100 yards. I ran up and down that all the time, and I really got used to doing that. So when I saw that in the race, it was nothing to get up that. And because I did my research, it wasn't a surprise. So experiment and understand that there's two constants you need in ultra running: mental toughness and the ability to problem solve. If you've made it this far, I know you have what it takes. You just have to execute. If you want to know why anyone can run an ultramarathon, please click right here. I will see you in the next video, and good luck, and keep me updated on how you're doing in your ultramarathon training. I always love hearing a good ultramarathon training story, especially if it's your first. Let me know if it's your first, and when you run it, let me know how it goes. And if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up and remember to subscribe.